What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin' Bats, where we got a show for you today. We're going to do things a little bit different because it was rivalry weekend around the game of baseball. Normally on Mondays, we do the power rankings at the end, but there has been a big shift in the power rankings, and we're going to do it a little bit earlier in the show today. So we're going to do power rankings because it's Monday. We're going to talk about the Mets-Yankees Subway Series because the Mets had all the headlines with Juan Soto going back to the Bronx, but it didn't work out great for them. They let a great opportunity go. Got a lot to talk about with that series. The Brandon Hyde situation with the Orioles. He is now out as their manager. He has been fired. Was that the right move? Was it not? We're going to talk all about that. Also got some best bets for you at the end with FanDuel because Flippin' Bats is presented by FanDuel. Bet baseball with us all season long on America's #1 sportsbook, and that is FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's get to it because I'm excited for this show today. And let's start with the Detroit Tigers. And what I have to say about the Tigers, because I'm rocking their shirt. Tigers are hot, baby. What I have to say about the Tigers is this. Move over, Los Angeles Dodgers. The Detroit Tigers are the best team in the game of baseball. Look, the Tigers on Friday became the first team in all of baseball to reach 30 wins. And as we're sitting here on Monday, they're still the only team in baseball to get to 30 wins. Now, it's been all year long. They have been playing great baseball. And I think it's time the Tigers get their due. They are the best team in baseball. Why do I say that? Well, their roster might not be full of the superstars that the Los Angeles Dodgers have, right? The Dodgers roster is full of stars and MVPs, and the Tigers is not. But you know what the Dodgers don't have? You know what other teams around baseball don't have? They don't have Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball. They don't have AJ Hinch, the best manager in baseball. They don't have Javier Baez, who's having a resurgence right now. Javi Baez has been probably the most made fun of baseball player around the league for a couple years running now. It's been bad. It's been brutal. Punch out after punch out after punch out, slider low and away, slider low and away, slider low and away, and repeat for 2 years at this point. It's been brutal. Everybody's seen all the gifs and all the memes and all the jokes and, the jokes of people throwing out first pitches and Javi Baez swinging and missing at it. And it's been brutal. Well, entering Sunday, he's hitting 300 with an 836 OPS, 6 homers. Javi Baez is back. The magician is back. And guess what? He's not playing shortstop. He's been playing center field for the Detroit Tigers. Now, he's not yet qualified as a center fielder. He hasn't played enough, hasn't quite played enough out there. But when he is officially qualified as a center fielder to see his defensive metrics, he's going to be around top 4 in defensive runs saved as a center fielder in baseball. The transition for him from shortstop to center field has been incredible to watch. Javi Baez has been a huge part of the Tigers' success, and he has made that switch to center field look so easy. Now, AJ Hinch, I mentioned AJ Hinch. He's not just the best manager in baseball because he pushes the right buttons. But man, oh man, does AJ Hinch push the right buttons. But it's because of how he handles players like Javi Baez, like Spencer Torkelson. Javi Baez comes over to Detroit, signs that big contract, and is expected to be the guy. And it went brutally, miserably wrong. But AJ Hinch, the way he handled it, has just been admirable, I think. He sits down Javi Baez, sits him down in the offseason and tells him how important he's going to be to the Detroit Tigers' success. It's not, hey, you're going to come into spring training and we're going to give you a shot, but it hasn't been pretty lately. And I know other managers can talk to their players the same way, but he sits them down, looks them in the eye and says, we need you. We need you. We may not need you to be the Chicago Cubs, Javi Baez. We may not need you to be the player that went to the Mets and tore it up for the second half. We just need you to be a guy on this team. We need you to play great defense. We need you to not strike out every at bat. We just need you. We need you for this team to be where we want you to be. And I think that belief in him has helped bring his career back, to be honest. And Javi Baez the other night hit a walk-off home run on a hanging slider to win the game in the 11th inning. And afterwards, AJ Hinch just was ear to ear talking about Javi Baez. I'm so happy for that guy, he said. I don't know if he's going to tell you how important it is to him, but I know it is in terms of his success this year. It's been unbelievable to watch Javi Baez transform his career back into not just a serviceable player, but the guy's hitting 300 with a 800 plus OPS. He's been really good for the Tigers this year. Why else are they the best team in baseball? Tarek Skubal, best pitcher in the game of baseball. Best pitcher in the game of baseball. Jackson Jobe, rookie, first Tigers pitcher in history for the team to win the game in his first 8 career starts. He's been unbelievable. Gleyber Torres has been a huge addition through 30 games so far this year for him because there was a bit of an injury. Through 30 games, he's got the highest WRC plus of his career. Torque has an OPS of almost 900. Riley Green is heating up. I've seen enough. Forget just the American League. The Detroit Tigers are the best team in the game of baseball. Man, it's been fun to watch them this year. And I just love that they do it differently than everybody else. I don't think the team would be as good as it was if AJ Hinch wasn't the leader of the clubhouse. I don't think the team would be as good as it is without Tarek Skubal at the top of the rotation, without Javi Baez saying, you know what? Screw it. I'll go play center field. I'm a great shortstop. I'm one of the best defensive shortstops over the last decade. I'll go play center field. Things haven't gone as I wanted them to in Detroit. We want to shake things up. We don't have a center fielder due to some injuries. I'll go play center field. And just watching him play, the fun he's having. Torque is back. I said it before the year. I still believe in Torque. And Torque is back. Torque's hitting bombs. Torque's driving in big runs. Riley Green started off slow. He's absolutely heated up. He's in fuego lately. He's hitting 275. Everywhere you look, the addition of Jack Flaherty, the addition of Gleyber Torres, the transition with Javi Baez, and the belief that he could still be good. The belief that Spencer Torkelson could still be good. The addition of Jackson Jobe saying, you know what? He's ready, and we're ready. Let's go with him. The addition of him. Every button that has been pushed with this team has worked. And I was critical of the front office in the offseason, saying what you needed to do more. You needed to sign Alex Bregman. The offense needed another bat. And I'm not sitting here today and saying, you know what, the offense doesn't need another bat, because I would love to see them add at the trade deadline. And I still do believe the offense could use another bat. But I was wrong in thinking that they needed it to be as good as they could be this year. They're the best team in baseball. They're the best team in baseball. All the right buttons have been pushed. From the front office to AJ Hinch to the guys in that lineup, the culture is different now in Detroit. The belief that they can win changed. It changed last year with that run they went on. When the Detroit Tigers went on that run in 2024 to end the year and then beat the Houston Astros in the playoffs, everything changed with that organization. The culture changed. The belief changed. And they didn't come out this year and get off to a slow start like they have in the last couple of years. They came out this year in 2025 with the belief that, hey, we can be one of the best teams in baseball. And they are. And they deserve a lot of credit for that. Tigers are hot, baby. I'm rocking the shirt. The Tigers are hot. The best team in baseball. So, why I said I wanted to do things a little bit differently today is because right now we're going to do power rankings. And I am excited for this. We typically do them at the end of the show every Monday. We're going to do them today. They're a big deal on social media. People love to hate them. People love to love them. Mostly hate, little bit of love. But I do think my power rankings have gotten more love this year than others because I think they've been accurate, fair. I have had the Dodgers at the top for a while to start the year, but then when they didn't deserve it, I bumped them down, and then they've been back. And most everybody's just said Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers all year long. Regardless, let's get to it. We're going to start this week at number 10, and there's going to be a team that misses out that I want to talk about at the end. But we're going to start this week at number 10 with the Houston Astros. The Astros are new to the power rankings. They're 24-22. They are not in first place in the division yet, but they've been really good. They've played the most games of any team in baseball against teams with a winning record, teams above 500. They've played the most of anybody. Their schedule's about to get much easier, so I think they're about to go on a run. But they've climbed back. They're over 500. They're playing really good baseball. They won on Sunday to split the rivalry weekend series with the Texas Rangers on the road. They win a series against the Kansas City Royals before that, the Cincinnati Reds before that. They've been playing good baseball. I've added the Astros back to the top 10 power rankings because I think they're the best team in the AL West. It's that simple. At number 9, the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota Twins are new to the power rankings at 26-21. How'd they get here? Well, they went on a 13-game winning streak, the longest in baseball this year. To start May, they were 13-19, and they were the fourth worst team in the American League. Well, now they're the top AL wildcard team. It happened quick. It happened with that 13-game win streak. I don't know if you guys know Marty Fish, good friend of mine. Marty Fish was a tennis player. Now he's a half-decent golfer, pretty good golfer. Great dude, though. Good friend of mine. We have a year-long wager with the Minnesota Twins on basically their win total. He's a big Minnesota guy, huge Twins fan. We have a wager this year, and man, was I just giving it to him this year to start the year. Terrible. They've been awful. They're brutal. Well, all of a sudden, he just keeps saying, you know what? Just wait. They go on this win streak. I have a feeling they're never going to lose again. And it becomes just this ridiculous back and forth where he's like, I told you this was coming. So shout out Marty. Here's your Minnesota Twins at number 9. At number 8, we're going to go with the San Francisco Giants. Giants are down one spot. They're 28-19. They're still in good shape. They're still a good team. They swept their rivalry weekend series against the A's, but just a bad taste in my mouth the series before. Huge series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Lost that series at home. So I just bumped them down one spot because you're obviously in contention in the NL West. You're right there at the top. The D-backs are a good team. To me, the NL West isn't... I don't think the Giants are going to win the NL West, but I do think that they can get into the playoffs. How do they do that? Well, all of a sudden, you start looking around. Who's the teams that they're going to be competing with? The NL East teams, right? The Phillies, the Mets, and here come the Braves, right? So are the Braves going to creep up and get back in it? And then on the other side of things in the NL West, there's the Padres and there's the Diamondbacks who aren't yet playing well. You play that Diamondbacks team that you're going to need to compete with for a playoff spot, and you need to win those games at home. And they didn't. They lost, left a bad taste in my mouth. I dropped them one spot. They're still here at number 8. Good weekend series. At number 7, the biggest faller of the week, the San Diego Padres. Down 5 spots. They're now 27-18. They got swept in their rivalry matchup against the Seattle Mariners. Just a brutal series for them. I've dropped them down a good bit. They're here at number 7. At number 6, down 3 spots, the New York Mets. The Mets are 29-18. Tough series against the New York Yankees. We're going to break down that whole series in just a few minutes. But the Mets are here at number 6. At number 5, just beating them in a series, the New York Yankees up 1 spot. They're 27-19. Great stretch of winning series against good ball teams, good ball clubs. The Mets beat the Mariners on the road, beat the A's, beat the Padres. They've been on a good stretch lately. Yankees here at number 5. At number 4, we're going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies. They're staying the same, 28-18. They swept a weekend series against the Pirates, lost the series before that at home to the Cardinals. So, give or take, I'm going to keep them here at number 4. At number 3, up 5 spots, the biggest jumper of the week, the Chicago Cubs. Cubs are up 5 spots, swept the White Sox, won the series before against the Marlins. And you look at the teams behind them, I think they're better than the Phillies. I think they're better than the Yankees, and they've beaten all these teams. They beat the Padres. Honestly, the Cubs competition that they have played this year has been really good, and I think they're a great ball club. I think they're here at number 3. At number 2, Down one spot. The Los Angeles Dodgers at number 2. They're 29-18. They got swept by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim on the weekend. Just a bad series. The Dodgers are great, but you get swept by the Angels, and it's time for a change. Because the new number 1 team in the game of baseball is the Detroit Tigers, the first team to 30 wins in baseball. They beat the Blue Jays in the weekend series. They swept the Boston Red Sox earlier in the week. Just unbelievable how good they have been this year. First team in baseball to 30 wins. As we speak, still the only team in baseball at 30 wins. They're now at 31. They're killing it. We just talked all about them. The Detroit Tigers are no longer just the best team in the American League. The Detroit Tigers are the best team in the game of baseball. I mentioned the Mets. I mentioned the Yankees. Let's talk about them. Let's talk Mets-Yankees. What a series. What a rivalry weekend series. We get the Subway Series. By the way, before we get into it, a lot of different matchups around baseball and rivalry weekend. It's the inaugural rivalry weekend around the game of baseball. The first one. So you might be thinking, okay, some of these teams just don't make sense. Why is that team's rival? I get it. But you know what? This is the first one. We could look back in 25 years and say, oh my God, the Tigers and Blue Jays right across the water from each other. Obviously, it's a little farther, but Detroit is as close as you can get to Canada. I love that that's a rivalry. More of like, we'll look back in 25, 30 years and say, remember that first one? Like, man, yeah, the Padres and the Mariners have quite the rivalry now. Like, it has to start somewhere. So I have no problem with it. And I love that Mets-Yankees was the rivalry. I get the biggest rivalry in baseball history is Red Sox-Yankees. But what a fun start to this. Mets, Yankees, Soto, Judge, Subway Series rivalry, every rivalry weekend. I love that. Regardless, let's talk Mets-Yankees. In a weekend where the storylines were all about the Mets, where the storyline was all about Juan Soto, the storylines were all about the New York Mets for the first time ever heading into a Subway Series. A weekend where it all revolved around Juan Soto. Plan B won for the New York Yankees. Sunday night in the Bronx, Plan B was better than Plan A. And that's why the Yankees won that series. Max Fried on the bump, great. Paul Goldschmidt's been really good this year. Devin Williams, a clean inning. Cody Bellinger, a game-clinching, series-clinching, massive homer. Plan B for the Yankees was better than Plan A was in Juan Soto, and that's why they won the series. Max Fried on the year, a 1.29 season ERA. Paul Goldschmidt hitting .339 with 5 homers now. The power started to come. Cody Bellinger really struggled to start the year. He was hitting 182 with a 588 OPS in April. Well, he's on a 13-game hitting streak, hitting .377 during that stretch. He's raised his OPS from 614 to 789 over the course of this stretch. He's hot. Cody Bellinger, during the Subway Series, went 7 for 11 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Juan Soto, 1 for 10. 0 RBIs, 0 homers, nothing to write home about. Plan B for the Yankees was better than Plan A was, and that's why they won the series. What an opportunity this was for the Mets to go in and make a statement. You know what? We got the guy. We got Juan Soto. The Yankees never lose their free agent. They never lose out on the guy they want. Think about it. When was the last time the Yankees lost a guy in free agency that they were going after? Never. They lose Juan Soto. They lose the Subway Series headlines. And then, first game back, their plan B was better than plan A. Fried, Bellinger, Goldschmidt worked out better than Juan Soto. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen long term, But in the short term, we saw it. It was better. It won them the series. They looked like the better team, and the Mets blew a fantastic opportunity. Juan Soto needs to be better. I believed in Juan Soto. I believed he would go back in. He's having a good year. He's not having a Juan Soto type year yet. He's having a good year. Not a great year. I believed this was going to be the series. He was going to go back in there. In his words, it was going to be 50,000 against 1, and it was. He was going to go back in there, and I thought his season was going to turn around to Juan Soto status. I thought he was going to hit a couple homers in this series. I thought he was going to shuffle his tail off harder than he's shuffled all year long. But it didn't happen. He laid an egg. The Mets laid an egg. It was a dud of a series, and the Yankees looked like the better team out there. So Yankees win the Subway Series. Plan B was better than Plan A for them, and that was abundantly clear out there on the field during the Subway Series. Yankees take it. It was a good series for sure, but Yankees take the series and just make a statement. I thought the Mets had a really good chance to make a big statement here. All the headlines, Soto heading to the Bronx, and just keep that momentum and the ball rolling. And now it allows the conversation to come back. It's not me. I think the Mets will be and can be the better team. But it allowed the conversation to stop and to turn to, well, hold on a second. And you all know I hate this term, but hold on a second. The little brother's still the little brother. We're still the big dogs here in New York. We're the New York Yankees. You can take all the headlines. We don't want them. We're going to win ball games on the field. And that's what they did. Yankees won the Subway Series over the weekend against the New York Mets. Let's talk Baltimore Orioles. How critical of the Orioles have I been this year? Man, it started weeks ago, and now here they are. If I did the power rankings 1 through 30, I just want to make it clear that the Baltimore Orioles right now would be below the Chicago White Sox. That's how bad it is in Baltimore. They just got swept by the Washington Nationals in their rivalry weekend game. They're just a terrible, terrible team. And man, oh man, have I blamed the front office, ownership for the lack of success this year, saying, how could you, with this team, with this window, let an ace of a pitcher go, let your 800-plus OPS guy go and Anthony Santander, 40-plus homer guy go, and just not replace guys? You don't add pitching. We knew what the problem would be. I blame the front office for the pitching. They were put in a terrible position where, one, they didn't add anything, and it was wildly obvious they needed to. But two, you put yourself in a position where if there's any injuries, you're screwed. And there have been injuries. Grayson Rodriguez, Gibson was hurt for a while. The names go on. They've had their injuries. And now the pitching has suffered. We knew that would be the case, and the front office put them in that position. But front office absolutely is not responsible for their offense having the 4th worst runs scored in all of baseball. They've been brutal. Brutal. Their offense is way too good to be as bad as they are. And that's why after weeks of saying, I can't believe Bud Black, Derek Shelton are taking the blame for how bad the Rockies and Pirates are. Are you kidding me? It's all the front office fault. They put a terrible product out on the field. No. In Baltimore, this was a different case. Both sides are to blame, in my opinion. Brandon Hyde did need to go. The organization has ruined this window, in my opinion. Not to say it can't be fixed, because it's still a young core. But this window was bursting wide open and it has been slammed shut. And that is because of the front office's ineptitude at building a good team. But the offense is absolutely better than 4th worst in runs scored in all of baseball. There has been a lot of underperformance as well. And I do believe that it was the right move for Brandon Hyde to go. Look, he's been great for this team and turning it around and picking them up from a terrible organization and moving them towards a good team. But now you have a team that's supposed to be really good. They're underperforming. Is their front office to blame? Absolutely. I do feel like the majority of the blame belongs to them. But you can't have this team and this offense and have the 4th worst run scored in all of baseball. So Brandon Hyde out, and I think it's a little different than the Rockies and the Pirates situation. I do believe both sides are to blame here. There's plenty of time where manager's gone as a scapegoat. This isn't it, in my opinion. Front office is to blame, sure, but Brandon Hyde should have had this team being better than they are. They've been abysmal, and I unfortunately, he's out of a job. I hate seeing managers lose their job. I hate seeing... I will never call for someone's job. I don't want to see that. But I do think it was the right move for Brandon Hyde to go. I think this Orioles organization has been a nightmare top to bottom, and it was time for things to change. This team should be way better than they are. Do they have pitching issues? Did they add correctly? Absolutely not. Should they be way better than they are? Yes. And now Brandon Hyde is out as manager of the Baltimore Orioles. As we're recording, it's Monday. This episode comes out a little bit later in the day. Monday, just in time for East Coast commute back home. So it's Monday. Flippin' Bats is presented by FanDuel. We're going to do a couple FanDuel best bets for you. I'm going to give you a couple picks for Monday, but then I'm going to give you a Tuesday, Dinger Tuesday best bet because you get a 50% profit boost on a player to hit a homer if he hits a homer on Tuesday. 50% boost. So Monday is a 30% profit boost on parlays. Tuesday, Dinger Tuesday, 50% profit boost. I'm just going to give you a couple picks on Monday that I like because I know games are about to start. So a couple over-unders I really like today, actually. Cubs, Marlins, we're going to go under 8.5. Astros, Rays, we're going to go over 8.5. And Angels, A's, we're going to go over 9.5 there in those games as well. So just a couple picks I like on Monday. On Tuesday, my best bet for Dinger Tuesday, 50% profit boost is Wilmer Flores. Most RBIs in baseball, by the way. The guy's absolutely killing it. He's got some pop. And against Michael Lorenzen, who he's facing on Tuesday, 7 for 14 with 3 home runs against him. So give me Wilmer Flores on Dinger Tuesday, plus a 50% profit boost to hit or homer. But those are the bets I like on Monday and on Tuesday. Remember, Flippin' Bats is presented by FanDuel. You must be 21 or over and present in select states, or 18 and over and present in D.C. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as a non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. What a show. What an episode. Tigers are back, baby. The Tigers are hot. These ain't your Tigers of old. These are Tigers with confidence. Tigers with the best pitcher in baseball. Tigers with the best manager in baseball. The Tigers are hot, and they are rolling, and they're the best team in baseball. Fun show. Fun episode. If you missed it last week, go listen to the John Smoltz episode, by the way. If you're finishing up now and think, hey, man, I'm sad this is over. I wish there was more. John Smoltz joins every single week, and I thought this past episode with him was really good. We talked about Pete Rose and whether or not he's deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, we know he is as a player, but off the field, not even off. Gambling was on the field, but obviously it's a lot more than that when it comes to Pete Rose. So it's a tricky conversation to have. But I had it with John Smoltz. We talked all about that, and then I gave my opinion afterwards. It's about a 15-minute episode. Go listen to it. It's awesome. John Smoltz every single week, meaning in just a couple days, the Hall of Famer John Smoltz will be back on Flippin' Bats as well to talk about everything happening around the game of baseball. But thank you all for listening and watching. As always, it means the world. This Flippin' Bats community means the world to me. Thank you all, as always, for wanting to listen to this show and hear about the game and its raw, true self and the positive things happening around the sport. I truly appreciate you all that listen and watch. Please make sure you subscribe wherever you listen or watch. Hit that subscribe or follow button. It does really help us. Leave a 5-star review if you want. And if you watch, you can watch every episode on YouTube. Leave a comment. Hop in the comments. I love talking back to you all in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Flippin' Bats Pod is our YouTube channel. You can watch every episode. And we're on all social media as well at Flippin' Bats Pod everywhere. But that does it for this Monday episode. Tigers are the best team in baseball. Tigers are hot. I appreciate you all. And remember, until next time, find your bat and flip it. Peace. Flippin' Bats is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, an affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.